if you've been on GameSpot.com recently, you'll know that our expert in the world of Battlefield, well, it's not Jeremy J, because he's pretty much an expert as well. It's Mr. Aaron Sampson. Aaron.
How's it going, Danny?
It's going pretty good. How's it going for you? A new DLC dropped today, Dragon's Teeth.
Yeah, it did.
Confirm or not, are there dragons in this DLC?
There are teeth of dragons, which are actually just things that stop tanks traditionally.
What, those big things they had on D-Day on the beaches?
Yeah.
Those big, like...
They're like concrete blocks. And
okay.
And there's not a lot of tanks for them to stop, but...
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know, like, there's supposed to be a lot of Easter eggs in this game, so it's rumored that there might be something like a dragon somewhere that people have to uncover.
There was a, like giant shark.
The Megalodon.
Yeah. For the longest time, nobody believed there was a Megalodon in the game. And then I think Jack Frags and his crew went hunting for it, and there was totally a Megalodon in the game.
All right, so what actually is in this then out of the box? You've been playing for a couple of hours this morning.
Yeah, so Battlefield 4 Dragon's Teeth has 4 new maps, a host of new guns, whose assignments actually get players both playing within their role and also doing things that help them play the objective. Which is cool because in previous DLC they've been like, hey, support class, go blow up tanks, which has nothing to do with what a support class does.
And you've been banging that drum for a couple of months now as well.
Yeah, so I was actually really happy to see that they did that. So this is there's 4 new maps. This is chain link mode, which is basically their way of trying to focus Conquest a little bit more. The flag cap points tend to be more aligned in this mode, and you basically get points, I'll just show you here real quick. You get points from capturing adjacent flags.
Okay.
So if you just get one flag, that doesn't do you any good. You got to get the flag and the flag adjacent to it to bleed tickets. And then the more links that you have in the chain, the more tickets you bleed.
So if you had 3 in a row, would that be even better than having, say, 2 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, it probably works a little bit like Conquest still, where, you know, if you have half of the links.
Oh my God, did it just evolve?
That was just some levolution right there,
evolved
baby.
a little bit. There's also, there's that hillside up there. There's a giant mudslide that'll come down that hill. There's a lot of elevated platforms on these levels. There's good verticality. If you are a...
Woohoo!
All right.
I don't think that was enough height to, you know, deploy a parachute, but sure, go on.
Battlefield. If you're a recon player or an assault player, this is the expansion pack for you.
Okay.
Now, that's...
To what end? Because of sniping lanes, or...?
Yeah, there's just long sight lines. Because it's so infantry focused, you know, having your shock paddles and your health packs or your health snacks, depending on how far you are into this game. Yep, that guy's really far out there. Will be good for you. Oops, there's hella dudes over there.
You're doing good. Don't worry about it.
Health pack, health snack.
because I'm mostly just try and support my team here.
Good dude. Yeah, get yourself some easy points from using the pads.
So these maps are big enough to support infantry without being constricting, which was one of my main criticisms. Oop, I'm getting sniped at. It was one of my big criticisms of the close quarters expansion from a while back in Battlefield 3. So I think they've learned their lessons and made these maps a lot bigger, which is really cool.
And is there less of a reliance on transport to get to the battle in this stuff?
In chain link mode, yes. Yeah, overall, yes. They have Conquest, which plays exactly like Conquest plays. You know, tanks and helicopters and vehicles, which I really like. Are
you finding that it's easy enough to get into servers this early on as well? That was a big problem, I know, with the first 2 expansion packs, was that the numbers of people actually jumping into those. Nice work. Jumping into those
I don't think I got that guy.
playlists was kind of difficult. Are you getting enough folks in these ones?
I mean, anytime
it's day 1.
Anytime you have DLC, you divide your community, which is like it's interesting. So I've been having some long conversations with my friend Ryan Schubert about this. So I would rather just be charged more money, like $70 or something, and just have all the DLC baked into Battlefield. You know, like maybe they should go to a system where they charge everybody a little bit more money, not like a painful amount, rather than trying to sell a select few people, you know, a $50 premium subscription.
Yeah, so that the whole population who buys Battlefield would have access to these maps and these modes.
Exactly. So then, you know, your community isn't divided up. There's always a ton of people in all your matches.
Are there a ton of people in matches in like vanilla Battlefield 4 at this point? I mean, because DLC can have this effect of like the player base can languish a little bit and people sort of drift away to other games, but then the idea with DLC sort of spacing it out is then you capitalize on people like, oh, I haven't played Battlefield in a while. Oh yeah, I bought Premium. I'll get back into this. I'll check out the new maps, and so it sort of spurs just like a re-engagement.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you have a DLC come out, you'll always get. Well, I mean, particularly the premium players who already paid for this.
Sure. Yeah.
They're going to be coming out and playing it. The hard sell is always getting people who didn't buy premium who aren't hardcore Battlefield fans.
So to that end, do you think that this pack is actually, in terms of the other packs, I know the last one was kind of disappointing because it was basically just rehashes of old maps. Like, what do you think about this?
Naval Strike was the last one.
Oh,
that
sorry.
was actually, like, as naval combat goes, I was actually very pleased with Naval Strike.
Yeah, there were some pretty great maps in that one.
They made good use of their like PT attack boat, which was really cool. This map is not a rehash who to go for it? This map is not a rehash like Second Assault was, which I disagree.
Stab in the neck.
Disagree strongly with the idea that people were nostalgic for maps they'd been playing 8 months earlier.
Agreed.
So things are a little iffy about this expansion pack, since there are things that I like about it. It's weird, but after playing the Battlefield Hardline beta, I feel like it's weird. And you go back to Battlefield 4, you kind of understand what Visceral was talking about with vehicle handling.
Okay.
And also hit markers and things like that. So the vehicle handling in Battlefield Hardline beta was really superb compared to this. Your vehicles alternately feel like you're stuck in mud or riding on a trampoline in core Battlefield. Same with just general interaction with the ground. Let me see if I can get around here.
Hope so.
When you're running in Battlefield, you either a lot of times feel like you're stuck in mud, getting stopped by like ankle-high barriers, or
There you go. That's case in point.
Yeah. So like honestly, I'm now seeing kind of what the Visceral was saying about Battlefield Hardline and their improvements, and I'm seeing it just by kind of going back and playing core Battlefield. The ballistic shield has questionable value at this stage.
Is that one of the new items for this?
Yeah. So one of the
DLC?
two new items are the ballistic shield. The other one's actually a battle pickup, the Roar Bot, so the ballistic shield is of questionable value. In Battlefield Hardline, the ballistic shield stayed out all the time. It was on your back, giving you protection.
Did it actually act as protection there?
Yeah,
it wasn't just sort of cosmetic.
Even if you didn't have it out, it was giving you protection.
Uh-huh.
In this, it's a little weird. Like, it just kind of pops out of your butt, and then when you are done with it, it just kind of goes back in there. Like,
Great.
It doesn't. It's kind of distracting how it does that. It doesn't necessarily stop enough bullets to really be worth your time. So, like, ideally, a ballistic shield would be able to eat up at least one entire enemy magazine, because in that case, then they would light off their magazine. You would then drop your shield and switch to your primary or secondary and kill them.
Are you just talking about like strategy, tactics-wise? To be valuable, it should
Yeah, just the idea of a ballistic shield.
Mm-hmm.
And as it stands right now, all it really does is slow you down, and the person after you will probably still kill you anyway.
So what about the Roar Bot? That RAWR, because that's an unmanned, like you have to park in a corner and hello.
No one else noticed.
Unlucky.
So Roar Bot is, again, it's like one of those ideas that I feel like wasn't really followed through on. I don't know what the hesitation is to give the engineer class a robot that can shoot.
The Roar Bot can, though, right?
The Roar Bot can, but it's a battle pickup.
Okay.
It's not a piece of equipment. So EOD bots in real life actually do have shotguns in some cases. And the EOD bot...
Not just tiny blowtorches?
Yeah. And the EOD bot in Battlefield has just always been so, like, useless.
Hilarious.
There's just no point to it.
So what about the Roar Bot in this one? What does it bring anything new tactically?
It's got a machine gun, but you pick it up, and if you don't use it right away, you'll probably die before you get to use it.
So you pick it up, you find yourself a tube to hide in or something weird, and then you're like driving this little bot around by typing forward, back, back.
Right, just
left,
looking for
right.
codes.
Yeah, just looking for codes or little
looking for
orange
diesel stores
carrots to shoot.
Taking over the world with the Roar Bot.
But I mean,
Die.
so like when I saw it, honestly, it reminded me of.
Will you die?
Yeah,
There it is.
Headshot. Doesn't matter if you miss
Headshot.
20 times as long as the last one hits his head.
It reminded me of Homefront to look at it almost, just in terms of that, it's sort of robust attack abilities. But that game's multiplayer was a lot about was a lot about drones.
Yeah.
This Battlefield traditionally not so much, but more and more they've been introducing different types of drones through DLCs. So do you think that it has a place in a map like this? Is it more of a close quarter, like a closer quarters kind of situation that you want to use it in?
No.
It doesn't matter anyway.
I just want them to give it to the engineer. Like, honestly, why can't the engineer have an EOD bot that shoots? It's fine. It's got a shotgun. It's got a limited range.
Like, is it fun to use? Is it like when you put it in the field?
It's cool. I mean, when you get into it, the problem isn't that it's not fun to use. The problem is that you would lose it too quickly.
And it's so,
it's kind of fragile.
Difficult to get, I guess.
You have to pretty much use it right away, or you risk dying and not being able to use it again.
Yeah.
So after your past couple of hours playing, because I know it only came out today, what are your initial impressions?
My initial impressions are I recommend this pack for the infantry-focused crowd. I think it sets out, it accomplishes what it sets out to do, which is, like all those guys who are spending all that time in Locker and Metro and those like really tight infantry maps. This is better than that because it's more spread out, and I think it'll have more mass appeal for infantry-focused combat. It's something that core Battlefield didn't have enough of. And I think they will enjoy that. If you're a vehicle guy and you like flying jets and helicopters, you might not like this as much.
How many packs are left now? Is this second
Just
last?
one more.
One more.
Yeah.
Have they said what it is yet?
What is it, Final Stand?
Okay, that's a good name for your last DLC pack. All right.
I gotta say, like, maybe it's just me, but I kind of want to get back into Hardline.
Really?
I'm kind of.
Wow. Okay.
After playing this feels like it's trying to compete with Hardline, and I honestly just like the way Hardline did it better.
Awesome. All right. Well, then maybe that's...
You're ready to move on. You're ready for something fresh from Battlefield. Huh.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting actually to hear that somebody who's into Battlefield as deep as you are is actually sees something new in Hardline. Because
hit markers. Hardline. So they
hit markers.
In the community test environment here, they were talking about improving their hit markers, but all they got to do is do what Hardline did.
All right.
Hardline had better hit markers. So.
Ouchies. All right, Aaron Sampson, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Danny.
See you in a couple.